And every month we do this over and over again to get you guys to get all of the fundamentals and the tools necessary to prepare yourself for college. Okay? All right. So, got some new faces in the room. Welcome to the room. Glad that you're here. I hope that you find the things that we have to share here um, fundamental and valuable to you. If you ever have any questions, you let me know. That way I can help you through the process. Okay? All right. All right. So let's start with some housekeeping. So, some housekeeping rules. Number one, you want to make sure that we are muting our background if we're not talking. That way, the people who are actually living, who aren't, living with us, who aren't in the session can still live their lives, but we don't have to hear what they're talking about, right? So if you're not talking, make sure that your camera is on mute. Make sure you're monitoring those backgrounds, okay? I see some really nice backgrounds and it's impossible for people to walk through walls. I get it, but I do see like some people with like areas where there can be people behind you. So just make sure you're monitoring that, letting people know that you're live on camera and that anything they do is recorded. And then also use the chat feature. If you have a question and you don't feel comfortable at the moment or at all asking, put it in the chat, okay? Because we have someone here, Miss Denise, and we'll introduce her in a second. We'll be looking at the chat to make sure that your questions are answered, okay? But most importantly, it's all about having fun, enjoying yourself, and learning. Got it? Okay. All right. So why are we here? I do this every month because it's necessary for you guys to understand that in order to have the destination in mind of going to college, we have to have a goal and we have to move through it with a journey. Okay. So in order to successfully travel this hashtag CAP journey, what we need to do is understand our purpose, and that's to help you through the college admissions process. Okay. And in order to do that, we have a process where every single month we get together just like this and we prepare ourselves and we provide you mentorship and answer questions and introduce you to schools that you never heard of, or maybe you have and just want to know a little bit more about it. But that's our process every month. And so the payout is that, well, you get into college. That's the payout, okay? And that is what we're here for. And that's the most important thing for us, that you get into college and there's a bunch of extra fun things that happen along the way, okay? All right, so we do have some new faces in the room, and I'd like to know who you are and what grade you're in and why you're here. But before we do that, the icebreaker for this month is about essay writing. Last month, we got together and we talked about how to write a college essay. And we understand that there are several prompts, and that's also a topic, right? The prompt is called the topic, that you'll get asked to write about when you need to prepare your application for college. So there's about 7 normal prompts that happen, but today we're going to focus on 3 of the ones that we talked about last month. And that is problem solving, an accomplishment, and a passion, okay? So when you're talking about problem solving, it's about, think of a problem that maybe that you need to figure out, or something that you just needed to figure out, period. It may not be a typical problem, but maybe it's a program that you couldn't figure your way through, or something you're building and you couldn't figure your way through. You want to think about how you actually went through the process from realizing that it was a problem to actually making it happen. Or an accomplishment, think you guys are bright. You guys have many layers, right? It's different things that you're about, not just students at school. So think about some of those accomplishments that you may have gotten and you want to share that in an essay. Or a passion, something that you are deeply in love with and it just absolutely takes your brain away and that's all you can think about. You want to share that passion. So let's go around the room and I want you to introduce yourself, tell us what grade you're in, and then I want you to pick one of these prompts and tell me in 1 or 2 sentences how you would approach this prompt in your essay writing. Okay, so I am going to let you guys go first if you want to. So use the reaction to raise your hand or clap or whatever. We see your reaction, then we'll pick you. If we don't see a reaction, then we will pick you. Okay, all right, who's first? Go and get it over with. All right, looks like we need to pick someone. Uh-oh, looks like our admins are, where are you guys at? Raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay, so we know you can hear me. So we need some answers, okay? So, but where's my team at? Because I usually have someone who picks people.
Hey, why don't we go with Sophie?
Okay. You knew it was gonna be you, Sophie.
Sorry, Sophie.
I'm Sophie. I'm a junior in high school. Oh.
What high school are you at, Sophie?
I'm a junior in high school.
Where?
And the passion that I have is fashion and clothes, and like I'm just really like the fashion industry and like the business side of the fashion industry.
Okay. So can you see how you would turn that into an essay?
I feel like I'd have to be much more specific than just like the fashion industry in general. Definitely. It's not okay.
What are some of the challenges that you see in the fashion industry?
It's like
to promote your whatever you're going to market. What would be your challenge, you think?
What did you say? Sorry.
You can't hear me? Something that you want to market, what would be a challenge?
I guess like body inclusivity and like diversity work, and how they're not very inclusive with many people outside of skinny white women.
Okay.
Thank you, Sophie. Who's next?
Why don't we go with
Matthew waving his hand.
Let's go with Thea.
So my name is Theo. I'm in freshman in CCTS, and a passion is like, and I like to do engineering.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So Theo, what you want to do with this prompt is you want to think about how can you share with someone who's reading this and doesn't know you at all? How can you share with them how engineering, what engineering means to you, or how it can change the world, or how you can change something that you see as broken? You know, those are just different ways to think about how to write about that passion. Engineering, that's nice. Who's next? I did see Matthew with his hand up. So Matthew, do you want to go?
Okay, here.
So I think it might be your headphones. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Just for the time being, pull your headphones out of the computer and just go ahead and answer, and then you put them back in. That's weird.
Yeah, we still can't hear you.
Fool around with it and see if you can get it to work, and then let's just go around and see who's next.
What about Sydney?
Hi, my name is Sydney, and I'm in 9th grade at Williamstown High School. And a problem that I think needs to be solving is like different stuff on like women, like how we have to pay for like our certain stuff like toiletries, like as in tampons and pads and stuff, and also the pink tax and certain stuff that we can't control, and you're just making it the money like higher for us.
It looks to me, sounds like you thought about this one.
I'm telling you.
Well thought out. You need to, while you have it fresh in your head, you need to write it. And then your essay will be done. And you're not even applying to colleges right now. Like your essay could just be done. Okay. Nice, nice. Okay, who's next?
Why don't we
Elena.
go with Elena? If she's still there.
I walked away.
She might have walked away.
All right, let's get one more.
T. Haig, Palmer, I believe it is.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, guys. Let's make sure we're troubleshooting our audio and make sure that you're there so that you guys can interact, because this is supposed to be an interactive session and we need to make sure that you guys are present, okay, and engaging. All right. Hey, we talked to Theo. Christopher, what grade are you in?
I'm in ninth grade, freshman.
So you're a freshman. All right, well, Christopher, Theo, and Matthew, are you guys triplets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the first time. Wow, mind blown. That's incredible. Well, welcome, welcome. So cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so as every month, we have a topic of the day that we deep dive into, which is going to be interesting today because it definitely takes the level of engagement that I'm not hearing too much of this morning. So I hope that we get this part together. We do dive into an HBCU of the month. And this month is going to be Spelman College. And then our activity of the month is going to be going through the tools, the toolkit that we have for preparing ourselves for college applications, okay? So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be laid back today. It's going to involve a little bit of work. We want to get you guys started because we have a lot of things in store for you this year. And so we need to make sure that we are actually moving on schedule, okay? All right, so today's team, I didn't introduce myself. I just started talking. How dare I? So my name is Miss Kiana, and I am the lead moderator, which means that I'm the one who is going to be doing a lot of the talking when it comes every month. Okay, I am personally invested in making sure that we guide you through this process. All right. We also have Miss Danielle, and Miss Danielle, you see her picture down at the, well, I see it down at the bottom. She is the host, so she's taking care of all the technical parts of making sure that the session runs well. If you notice, she's changed your name up a little bit and maybe said who you are. That way we can determine the mentors in the room to the scholars in the room. And then we have Miss Denise, who's here as well. Miss Denise, hi. And she is going to be watching the chat. Okay, so like I said, if you have questions, just go ahead and put it in the chat. And Miss Denise is going to be looking and making sure that she shares that. All right. Okay. All right. So what we like to do every month is we like to spotlight an HBCU. Okay. And so this month's HBCU, sorry guys, this month's HBCU is Spelman College. And I say sorry guys, because Spelman College is a school for women. Okay, but hey, sit back and learn. You might learn something. There's a school right next door called Morehouse, and it's pretty cool. And that's for men. All right, so let's deep dive into Spelman College. All right, so Spelman College was founded in Atlanta, Georgia in 1881. It was originally named something else, but it became named Spelman College in 1924. There are approximately, it's a small school, so they have about 2,000 students from 43 states and 10 countries there. And they are in the top 20 of the best women's colleges back in 2016. And it's been the #1 HBCU for 10 years straight. Wow. Okay. All right. So I see admissions criteria, but I'm going to come back to that in a second because I found something interesting about admissions at Spelman. But let's talk about the cost, okay? So each semester, it's roughly $15,000 to attend Spelman. The room and board is about $7,300. And so each year, when you total it up with the 2 semesters, room and board, you're talking about roughly $45,000, okay? A lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of cash, a lot of coins, right? But remember, we do talk about financial aid here. We do talk about scholarships, and there are ways to pay for your education. All right, a couple fun facts. The top majors at Spelman College are biological and biomedical sciences, English, physical science, psychology, and social sciences. Okay, their mascot is called the Jaguars, pretty cool. All right, and the motto is our whole school for Christ. All right, so let's talk about admissions. Now, usually when we talk about the schools that we highlight, we say you need to have this GPA or this ACT or this SAT in order to get in. But Spelman takes a different route to how they accept students. And I think this is really cool because a lot of the stuff that we teach here is about being leaders in your community, being leaders in your high schools. It's about showing these colleges that you're more than just a student at a desk. It's about talking about how well-rounded you are. Spelman actually takes that into deep consideration for each and every student that they choose. They don't have a minimum requirement for getting in. They don't. They look at your whole application, your resume, your essay, probably, and they make a determination on if you're a fit for the school. That is, I mean, that's amazing. That's just really amazing to me. So what they do share is after they've admitted their freshman class, then they share what the profile looks like. And a profile is like the average GPA, the average SAT, the average ACT. And so what you see here at the bottom of the screen where it says the average GPA is 3.8, they're saying that out of all the applicants that they got, the freshmen, the lucky freshmen that get to actually go to Spelman College, they somehow had an average of 3.8. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea on if you fit, okay? But it doesn't mean that you won't get in. So think about that. I love that. They do, however, want you to have 2 recommendation letters. They do need you to apply by November 1st, just like many of these schools do. But all in all, they take a very holistic review approach to how they admit students. So what I have for you today is I've got a video, all right? And this video talks about pros and cons of attending Spelman. And this is from an actual student that's there right now, okay? I'm not gonna show the whole video because it's kind of long, but I will go ahead and just play it and then we'll stop and then I'll put the link in your email, your follow-up email today so that you can go back and watch it if you like or subscribe to her channel. She's pretty cute. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys. Let me try that again.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya. If you're new, I make college, faith, and lifestyle related content, so you should definitely subscribe if you're interested in any of that. So in today's video, I have some pros and cons of Spelman. I'm a junior political science major here, so I feel like I know, some of the good and bad parts of Spelman. I'm making this video for those of you guys who are making your college decision. Maybe you want to come to Spelman, but you don't really know. I feel like when making your college decision, it's important to know the good and the bad of the school that you're looking at so that you can fully weigh your options. These are just my personal pros and cons of Spelman. So yeah, hopefully this video can help you out some, and without further ado, let's just get on to the video. So my first pro of Spelman is the school spirit. And you can really see the school spirit during Founders Day, and also I would say in the SO week. I don't feel like there's any other school, I don't feel like there's no other school that goes hard for Spelman like we do on Founders Day. Founders Day is one of my favorite days ever. It's just an undescribable feeling. I really don't know how to explain it, but we always have a Founders Day celebration on the Oval. It's so fun. There's little like rides and stuff, music, food. So obviously this past Founders Day, we weren't able to be on campus due to the virus, but even not being on campus, you could still feel like the Spelman love through social media. No other school is touching our school spirit when it comes to like how hard we go for Spelman. We love Spelman. This can also be seen during NSO week, because NSO week is all about you and Spelman and introducing you to Spelman. So you learn a lot about Spelman history and those kind of things. Yeah, I feel like you just really feel the sisterhood during NSO week because you're all new, you're getting to know each other. It's your first week on campus. So yeah. So my second pro of Spelman is the fact that it's in Atlanta. I personally love Atlanta. I'm the type of girl, I love being in the city. I'm a city girl. I love the city. I love Atlanta. There's always something to do in Atlanta. Say you're tired of being on Spelman. Say you're tired of being in the AUC. You can go to Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Emory. You can always go get something to eat. You might stumble upon a freaking music festival that you didn't even know about. I've definitely done that. There's just always something going on in Atlanta. My third pro of Spelman is that it's a small campus. This is actually on my pros and my cons list. It's on my pros list because it's so easy to find your way around campus. It takes about, for real, like 7 minutes to get from one end of campus to the other. All the buildings are labeled really well. You can look at a map. You can walk around campus and find which building you're looking for very easily, because like we only have like what, 3 academic buildings, maybe 4. So there's Giles, the Science Center / Tapley, and what else? Cosby. So yeah, we literally only have 3 academic buildings on campus. So it's definitely not hard to find your way around campus. Having a small campus also means having small classes, which I personally prefer. I don't know how the heck I would make it in a class full of 300 people. I think the most people I've ever had in any of my classes was like 30. And that's typically in your general classes that you take freshman year, like a math or wellness or a language. This also helps because it's really easy to get to know your professors. And there's a saying, it goes, you can't fail a face. Another pro of Spelman is that there's always something to do. I guess this goes back a little bit to us being in Atlanta, but just like on campus, there's a lot to do. Market Friday, Hump Wednesday, there's Darty season in the AUC. There's really a lot of events on campus. I remember freshman year, second semester, I think it might have been Morehouse's SGA week, but they were having a lot of events that week. One event they had was a silent party. It was on campus, and literally it was like one of the most fun things I've actually ever been to. Between Spelman, Morehouse, and Clark Atlanta, there's just always something going on, always something you can do. My last pro of Spelman is that Spelman is going to give you a good education. Yes, Spelman is expensive, but like for real, it's worth it. You're not going to be taking a bunch of BS classes at Spelman, and a BS class is a class where you don't learn anything and you don't have to do anything, but you can still get an A. Yeah, no, you're not going to have a lot of lists at Spelman. You're going to get your money's worth. You're going to learn in and out the classroom. Spelman's going to make you work for them grades. You're going to work for that degree, okay? So I started.
All right, so I want to make sure that we save time for the work that we need to do today. But let me tell you something. She's cute. She was a cutie. And I really enjoyed watching her and listening to her talk about her true impression of her school. There's a lot of pride there. And I will go ahead and make sure that that link is in the follow-up email so that you can continue to hear more about the pros and the cons, because I think she was going to start flipping to cons. But as opposed to doing that, I think it's more beneficial today for you guys to hear from 2 people who are here who actually are Spelman graduates. Okay, so today we have Miss Daphne. And today we have Miss Judy Lynn, and they will share some information about their experience and at Spelman, why Spelman, what made them choose to go to Spelman. And then I will welcome you guys to ask some questions, okay? Let's be interactive, more interactive than we've been already this afternoon. Okay. All right, so let's start with Miss Daphne.
Oh. Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited that we are talking about Spelman today. And when she talked about Founders Day, I don't know about Miss Judy, I got emotional. It's April 11th. Yes. It's Founders Day. If we don't remember any other detail, we know what day Founders Day is. So yeah, it's a beautiful school. The reason I picked to go there was that when I went to school, I was at Cherry Hill East. And at the time I was going, there were 4,000 students, only 51 of the total population were students of color, you know, African American. So I literally ran down to be in Atlanta because I wanted, you know, you get tired. You want to be around people that look like you, have that experience. You can say maybe one of the cons was it was definitely a culture shock, but one that I really enjoyed and I looked forward to. So definitely wanted to be there. And one of the best things about it was that our history came alive going to a Black HBCU, especially in Atlanta, because all the things that we read about in history, in my class alone, Dr. King's daughter, Bernice King, was in my class. A lot of the cousins, his sister, I would say with Miss Judy also, his sister was teaching at the school. We got to interact with Michael Lomax, who is the United Negro College Fund. He was my professor. So just like having hands-on contact, Shirley Chisholm, Maya Angelou, Toni Morrison, like they all flocked to the school. So, you know, you got to, instead of not getting it at school, because, you know, whenever it came to Black History Month or Black History events, when it was in school, they never got around to it. It was the end of the marking period. Here, we got to hear it for ourselves, which was just, I learned so much. That's when I first learned about Juneteenth. So that was one of the things I really enjoyed. That she talked about also the interaction of the schools together. All my courses actually were at Morehouse because I was in math and computer science. And I don't know if you remember in Hidden Figures, the movie, where you kept seeing the lady running back and forth into the building. That was literally the door that I would enter into Morehouse, because it was filmed at Morehouse for all my math and science courses. So again, being able to network and take your classes within the schools and have the, you know, it's an all-girl, all-female school, but that's only at night. Our courses were all mixed up. And, you know, depending on what classes you are, it's a total population, because you could, at the time, you could take courses at anyone. And I met my husband there, so I have little Spellhouse children, all three of them. So that's one of the things I appreciated too. But just that hands-on experience, there was nothing like being in Atlanta. And so that would be my glowing recommendation. And, you know, of course, you know, the con for me was I had not had the experience with being around my people that much. So it was a learning curve, but I loved it. It was everything that I ever wanted, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Miss Judy Lynn, please share why Spelman.
Well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. And it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon to share my love for Spelman College. First of all, I too, like Miss Daphne, went to a predominantly white high school. I graduated from Paul VI High School, and it was approximately at that time when I graduated in 1978, it was 2,000 students and 45 were African-American students. So again, going from a predominantly white culture to Spelman College, yes, it was a little bit of a culture shock, but it was absolutely fabulous. Atlanta is a historic city. It was also a way that we saw Black African-American people who were business owners, who were heads of organizations. This was also where we saw neighborhoods of beautiful homes, expensive homes, affluent neighborhoods. And these were all Black neighborhoods. They were not predominantly white neighborhoods and a few Blacks here and there, but they were actually all Black neighborhoods. I love Spelman. What I loved about it was the sisterhood, very strong sisterhood that we had. Our professors, counselors were always there for us. if you ever had any type of situation, problem, issue. We were a small enough college that, again, as Daphne mentioned, you had that interaction with the people there. Some very significant things that happened to me while I was at Spelman. It was the first time that I voted. And in 1981, Andrew Young ran for the mayor of Atlanta. And the students, we volunteered from the whole complex, but Spelman, we volunteered. We passed out flyers. We rode through the cities on trucks and campaigned for Andrew Young. And what it did is it reinforced the fact I had the right to vote, and that I was 20 years old at the time, and I was able to vote. It reinforced the significance of voting, and that I had a voice. Now, the Voting Rights Act really had only been passed 1965, so that was just 15 years. And there are many people who don't really understand. They assume that, oh, everyone always had the right to vote. But especially in the South, there was a lot of voter suppression in the South mainly. And so again, that was something very significant for me, knowing that my vote and my voice mattered. Something else that was, again, very significant was in I participated in the first Black College Day, which is now considered HBCU Week. In September of 1980, Spelman, Morehouse, the whole Atlanta University complex, which is Spelman, Morehouse, Morris Brown, Clark, and Atlanta University, chartered about 5 buses from Atlanta, the Atlanta University complex, and we went to Howard University, where again, Toni Morris, I think it was who was the one who started this and spearheaded everything. There were about 20,000 students from all over the United States, from Black colleges, who went, and we listened to speeches. We were involved in activities, and all of these were designed to get us to understand the significance of where we were, why Black colleges. And that was a great experience as well. As a result of that, I continue to this day to, as an alumni, to continue to contribute to my college regularly. This is one of the reasons why some of our Black colleges have not fared very well. Spelman is in great shape, but many colleges, our Black colleges, are not doing as well because of the lack of alumni support. So it's always very important to do that. Which also now leads me to believe the, again, historic significance of a Black college. I was there in 1981, April 11th, for our centennial celebration, and that's Founders Day, and it was 100 years that Spelman celebrated their existence. And of course, I remember that with all the great activities, wearing white. We wear white and our Black shoes. We went around the college, going to Sisters Chapel, which was a magnificent chapel and facility, and hearing Dr. Johnson play the large piped organ, which was magnificent to hear. And I'm thankful for that experience as well. I was involved in student government. I was a cheerleader for Morehouse College. So again, you interact with some of the other colleges, as Ms. Daphne mentioned. And I was a member of the sophomore court during homecoming in 1979, and which was a major celebration. A Black homecoming is like no other. And that was the year my father came to visit the campus. And as a part of the homecoming production, the big production was put on at Morehouse, and Spike Lee was the director of that production. He was a Morehouse man. He graduated that following year. Also, as a result of being on the sophomore court and part of the homecoming, some of the Spelmanites, we were invited to a Martin Luther King benefit where the Bee Gees performed. And we were introduced to Coretta Scott King and Dexter King. I was actually friends with Dexter King. And I met Coretta Scott King. I don't have any pictures. I was in awe, and it was the time, it's not like we had little phones with us and everybody carried a camera. So it'll always be in my mind though. And we also visited Dr. King's home. So that was very exciting. All in all, my experience with Spelman had been very, very positive, like no other. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I continue to keep in touch with some of my Spelmanites, also some of our men from Morehouse as well. And I too took a couple of classes over at Morehouse. My degree was in psychology. I actually started as a biology major and later changed my degree, my major, to psychology. And I took also some business courses as well. But overall, I would recommend Spelman to anyone. It was a great experience, and I am very thankful.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I have to say, not ever in my life have I ever met a Spelman grad who was not excellent. And I thank you, Ms. Daphne, and I thank you, Ms. Judy Lynn, for sharing your stories with us, because it just continues the the streak of excellence. I mean, you guys are wonderful, truly great storytellers, and we thank you for sharing with us today. Man, too bad we only have an hour, because we would invest more time. I don't want to take away from any of the scholars that might have questions. So if you do have a question, just raise your hand or put it in the chat, and that way we can make sure that we ask those questions, so we can get, you know, if anything has piqued your interest whatsoever. In the meantime, this is what I'm going to do. Aside from saying thank you guys so much, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share again, and I'm going to bring us back to the deck here, because this is a time for us to ask questions of any sort. Okay. What I wanted to do, I know we usually in our sessions, we usually like steam for, we're like going real strong. We're moving, and we are knocking out topic after topic after topic, but we very rarely take a step back and just kind of think about some things, ask some questions, you know, what is college life? What's the difference between a 2-year or a 4-year? What's the difference between a public versus a private? Or, you know, talking about colleges in California or colleges in Indiana. What about schools that have sports and you want to play sports? How do you get to go to schools and get recruited? Things like that. So if you have any questions at all and you just want to hold a conversation, go ahead and ask. Either come off mute and ask a question. There's plenty of people here. We have resources for you, or you can put it in the chat and let's just talk. All right, Miss Denise.
Yes, we do have one question. Miss Daphne, what do you mean by culture shock? That comes from Sophie.
Hi, Miss Sophie. I think it just, when you are, like I said, at Cherry Hill East, and this is back then, I'm hoping it's not the same. It was, you really were isolated. You didn't get a chance to eat lunch with people that look like you. You didn't, you developed certain ways of handling how you navigated through the day, or you were seen because of your difference from everybody else. And then when I got down to Spelman, it was beautiful because there were all people that had been in organizations I had been in, or like you had to develop a new way of standing out, because now you blend in and you look like the beautiful people that are around you. So it was just different. It was just different being in a setting where you weren't kind of fighting all day, you know, of being isolated, being in a situation where you were the only one. I don't know if that really explains it, but it's just like getting to know the culture, getting to know the people, making new friends that look like you. I know for you, Sophie, that you were in Jack and Jill. So that's, for me at the time, that was the only time I really got to see people that look like me. Not that I didn't have cousins in Lawnside, but it was an effort to be around folks that were like me. So like Ms. Judy said, to be in Atlanta where people had businesses, it was amazing. Beautiful homes, beautiful communities, and you were just around like your own people. That was just different from what I had experienced from my K through 12 experience. So I hope that explains it a little bit.
There are no more questions in the chat at this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions whatsoever about college altogether? Yeah, we got another.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have another.
We have another question, and it's from Matthew, and he says, is college more competitive?
So is college more competitive than high school? Wow, there's so many different ways to answer that question. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to pass that one and I'll come back. Ms. Tanya, Ms. Sharon, what do you guys think?
First of all, I'd like to echo some of the things that Ms. Judy Lynn mentioned, as well as Ms. Daphne. I too attended a predominantly white institution from kindergarten to 12th grade, and I didn't see myself at all. I mean, I never even saw a African-American teacher until I attended HBCU. When I got to Morgan State University, I had never seen a campus queen look like me until I actually became a campus queen. So there was some competitive there because I had to compete against people of my own kind, something that I had never experienced before. And I actually competed against 12 women that were freshmen, and everybody had great backgrounds and so forth. And I have to say, I received 94% of the vote when I competed, you know, for a campus queen. And it was very competitive. We campaigned, and when I said campaigned, we campaigned. I mean, it was speeches going across the yard. You had to look a certain way. And HBCUs are very highly, they think very highly of their campus queens. There are campus queens for each classification. So from freshman to senior, and also, well, we had Miss Morgan, I'm sure you had Miss Howard University. So yes, college was very competitive.
And can I add to that though?
I'm sorry.
Can I add to that? Yeah, I completely agree, like with competitions and whatnot, but also just from an academic standpoint, this is what I wanted to say that I couldn't think of, is when you attend a school, when you attend college, you're usually choosing that college because of what you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. So like say you want to do engineering, or say you want to do psychology. So you're usually choosing the school that's probably really good at teaching engineering and teaching psychology. So what happens is that you're getting the cream of the crop from all these high schools that are being filtered into that specific school for engineering, or that specific school for architecture or whatever, or business. And so you are competing in that academic sense. I just want to make sure I kind of turned the course, Ms. Sharon, and talked a little bit about the academics. Because when I was at school, in the School of Business, because that's what I went to school for, it was highly competitive, because not only were we trying to learn about business and how to work outside after you graduate college, because that's the whole point, right, is to get a job, but we were actually trying to woo these companies into recruiting us so that as soon as we graduated, we got a job. So in that sense, yes, it's more competitive than high school, because you're actually sharpening your knife with some really smart kids there. But then also it is at the same time laid back, because you're allowed to, for the first time in your life, be away from home, relax, and start learning something new in a whole different surrounding. So I think
Can I add to that?
I want how you look at
it. I want to add to that, because you touched on the business, how the corporations came in. Well, we had what they call a career development center, and certain people did interview with those corporations that were, I guess, highly thought of when they came in. Everyone didn't get an opportunity to interview with those corporations. So you make a great point about that. So that piece of it was competitive. So I'm glad that you touched on that. Yes, all the way around competitive. Sports, I was an athlete. I realized I should have stopped running then because it was so competitive. College, yes, very competitive.
Absolutely. No,
but it was a learning, but it was great.
Yeah.
It was a good competitive.
Yeah. And so it's all about perspective, and it's all about what you're going there to do. Like, it's not even just that, but if you want to be a football player, like my husband is a football coach. When you are in college, you're always interviewing. Every game that you play, you're interviewing for your job. Okay, so it's very competitive. It's all about perspective, and it's all about what you're going there to do. But whatever, who cares about competition when you are already the best? Go there being yourself, and then that way you are going to shine personally. Miss Denise, there's some other questions I saw.
Yes, we do. Sydney asked, is it more likely to get chosen over another person for your career choice? And I'm not sure if she means get chosen in terms of getting into the college. She may want to come off mute and kind of give us a little bit of perspective on her question, but the question is it more likely to get chosen over another person for your career choice?
Yeah, I meant that. I meant like for college.
For admission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Certain colleges are like their top career choices are like this, and this. And if you're choosing something else, are you more likely not to get chosen over someone else who chooses those top choices?
Chances are, yes. Chances are, yes. I'll say that. But understand there's a lot of room. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of seats to fill. So don't knock yourself out the box, but you want to come in there being the best you that you could be. So we talk about those applications. Just to tie it back to this process here, we're trying to help you guys fill out those applications to showcase the best you, because you're Sydney, you're not going to be the one that walks into the college admissions office and says, hey, I'm Sydney. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, go ahead and just give me my letter. Thank you, I accept, They're gonna get your application, and it's just a piece of paper, just like they're gonna get Theo's application, they're gonna get Sophie's application, they're gonna get Elena's application. And they're gonna look at all these applications and say, which one is the best fit? And so they wanna see students have layers to them, leadership, academics, different clubs and whatnot, aspirations, all of that. So you want to make sure that your application kind of just sets you up to be the best you. Then it doesn't even matter how many students they're trying to fill for said major. It doesn't matter. You got it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go
ahead, Ms. Denise.
Okay, we have another question. Would going to a college that involves a person's strengths and passions be better than like an Ivy League school that doesn't involve what you are interested in? That question is from Christopher.
Good question.
I'm going to answer that question. I'm going
Let's say, because I'm reading the question again. Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is Danielle. I'm going to say it's better to go to the college that supports your passions than just to go for a name brand. You need to go somewhere that's going to support and is good at what and is known for what you're looking to do. That's going to be my answer.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that all day.
Me too.
But you know what?
I just want to.
You can apply to as many schools as you want to. Sometimes it's fun to just see those acceptances roll on in, but you want to, just like anything else, you want to choose what's going to be best for you. Okay. At the end of the day, you lay out all of those acceptances and you say, this school fits who I am, or this school fits who I want to be, and you just choose from there. And you can always say, hey, I got in here, I got into this school, but what's important is who is the school that you actually choose, because when you actually go to the school and you become someone great from the school, then the school's always going to say, oh yeah, that's right, I had Elena at our school, okay? The great Elena, yeah, you know who she is. She graduated from this school, so you want to think about how you're also going to give back at the end of the day because of how great you are. And I can't believe it, y'all. It's 2:00.
It can't be.
It's 2:00. And we didn't even get to the activity of today, which is the toolkit. That just really tears me up. But this is what we're going to do, okay? Next session, we are going to make sure that we set the time to do the deep dive with the toolkit. And I am personally going to, with my team, reach out to you guys over the next couple of weeks to make sure that you are doing different sections of the toolkit so that we can progress on, okay? If in fact you're gonna stick with us, I see some new faces here, I need to get your parental consent form emailed to me. I need to get your applications emailed to me. And I need to get, those two things are what I need personally, because we need to start the process of getting you a personal mentor so that that personal mentor can make sure that you are on the right road to getting your applications or understanding what you need and the schools that you need to start visiting, okay? So it's all about getting you guys on the right path. In order to start doing that, we need to make sure your parents are on board. So send us those consent forms, and we need to make sure you're on board. So send me your applications, okay? And then let's go ahead, and next month, we are going to be working on getting you guys mentors, and once again, we will be working on the digital toolkit over the next couple of weeks in bits and pieces so that we can speed up the process. You got it? I personally want to thank everyone who joined us today, all of our leaders and mentors in the room who joined us today. I'm trying to move quickly through this deck here, so give me 1 second. So thank you all for your time and your energy and educating us as well with all of the questions and information about Spelman. And I'm going to go ahead and throw these two up here because this is really important. All right. If you're a senior in the room, most important, I need for you to know that your essays need to be written. And if you need help, you need to reach out to me. It's time to get those essays done. All right. You need to ask your teachers and your counselors about recommendation letters. Go ahead and get those recommendations done now. Okay. Because a lot of schools are asking for applications to be submitted for November 1st. You heard it, okay? They will take applications later, but hey, we're talking about being competitive, right? You want to get your stuff in ahead of time, all right? You want to start thinking about the FAFSA. If you are going to be going to school in the fall, you need to start getting that FAFSA completed so that you can get financial assistance to go to school, because $45,000 is a lot of money to give one person, okay? So it's always nice when you have some help. And then also your SAT and ACT scores and your transcripts. If you know the schools you want to attend, you need to start working on getting those in. But that's where the toolkit comes in, All right, so making sure you're checking off everything that you need to do. Talk to me, reach out to me. I'll help you get through the process until you get assigned a mentor. Elena, you already have one. All right, and for everyone else, you see what you need to do here, but a lot of you guys are much younger, so we've got some time to work with you, so I'm not concerned. All right, the next session is going to be in November, November 14th, once again from 1 to 2. And I look forward to seeing all of your shiny faces there. We had a number of scholars that were not able to attend today because of some really cool activities that they had to participate in today. So they'll be back next month to the room, and we'll make sure we catch them up. But I thank you guys today, and I will see you guys in November. Thank you. Bye.